doing, man?
Oh, I brought stuff to decorate our mics for next week. Yeah. To get to.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Stuff. Yeah, bud. One of us.
I shouldn't even drink
One of us. Those are for you.
I didn't even think. I was like, oh, yeah.
Welcome to the club, buddy. Let's hear the crackling. Oh, it's delicious.
There's one. There's this thing on Instagram. It's so funny. I can't remember like who the person is, but he's doing like a cooking thing, and he opens a bag of chips, and he's like, love the sound of a fresh sack.
Yeah, well, I finally found a new source of D in this town.
Oh,
so,
nice.
you know, they had a good stash.
They had a call service.
Yeah, good amount of D in that it was House of Liquors 2 dose. So there's another one. I need to go find the OG.
Where is House of Liquors?
House of Liquor. I don't know. Yeah, I tried looking it up, and it's a mystery to me still. So we're gonna find that one.
You asked the guy that works there. I just did that to piss people off.
Yeah. So they're always looking for number 2. The better would be, who did that where they were like, oh, go into your house and hide like 50 ducks or something like that and number them all 1 through 50, but then like on 47 skip 48 and go to 50. And there's only ever 49, but then they'll for the rest of their time they'll be looking for that one. They'll be looking that there's a missing
Where's
duck.
number 49?
Oh, dude, actually, you just reminded me. So for Thanksgiving, we're going to Oklahoma this year, and
There's not enough rain.
happy Thanksgiving, happy Black Friday for everyone listening.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Unless you're out there, do people still like camp out anymore? That's not a thing, right? No, we
talked about it last year. It's kind of been destroyed by online shopping.
It was a brutal time. It was a dark time. It was
Attention, Walmart
You're the
shoppers.
one with the kids. Like, is there any like toy that they just have to have like back in the day?
They don't know any toys. So any toy that I bring to them, they're stoked about.
Yeah.
But like the commercials they have seen, they're like nothing interests them. And that's how I'm just like, yeah, dude, like we just got to go back to basics. Super soakers, dart guns, like, you know, those foamy, those hand paddle games where you throw the ball and it sticks to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I buy those toys. They play with them for weeks. I buy them something they actually see, like those stupid like unicorn eggs things. Like people will give them to you and you crack them open and they're just filled with like a couple tattoos, a little doll. Like it's like just
There's
nonsense.
a picture of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. You go through a corner, there's a picture of Winnie the Pooh. Boom. And they lose them and they get sick of them for after an hour. And so they're not worth it, dude. You got to go back to basics. But anyway, so we're going to Oklahoma and I saw someone had that idea where they were like, they bought 50 tiny miniature rubber ducks and they all handed them out to the siblings and they're like, go hide these somewhere. And so don't say anything just for the rest of the year. For the rest of the year,
you're gonna find little tiny
little ducks everywhere.
Damn duck
It's
again.
great. It's a harmless prank.
Have you seen that comedian? You've seen him. Where the first one I ever saw was where he got like a spam email. He started responding to them. And then there's the one where he's talking about how he's living with a roommate.
Yeah.
And he gets a rubber duck. And then like it escalates from there. And he's got like in the bathtub, it looks like the duck is having a fascist rally where the big duck is like at the podium.
Yes.
And then the other ducks are all lined
ducks,
up in the bathtub.
Yes.
And his roommate's like texting him, we got to talk about the ducks.
Yeah.
And he's like, what about the ducks?
Just getting at it.
What ducks? Like all this stuff. And then at the end, he's like, okay, but I can have one duck.
Right.
Like, one duck. So he opens the bathroom door, and the whole bathroom is full of this inflatable duck. Yeah. So funny, man.
Well, there's some tradition. I think it's in London where they float a humongous duck down the Thames. Thames? Thames?
Yeah.
They say things weird. Let's just go with that. Everything's pudding.
Yeah, now you can't say anything over there. You get arrested.
Yeah. So the Thames.
Did you see the newest one?
No.
If you call a bald man bald, it's sexual harassment.
Ooh, that's sexy.
They're getting crazy.
That's called super sexy.
It's called the Rogan Experience.
Dude, they're getting crazy over there.
You call me bald. Oh, buddy, we're going out. But
I've been trying to be sexually harassed for so long.
As long as I can remember.
Exactly.
Hashtag me too, but hashtag
why not me?
Hashtag why not me?
Not me. Oh no.
Hashtag why not us?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
For obvious reasons.
Goddamn.
Get them grippers, boy.
Goddamn
Looking good.
grips.
It reminds me of that guy who got arrested. It was like in the 70s where he's getting put into a cop car and he's like, what is my crime? Enjoying a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
Yeah.
Because this is your government.
That wasn't the 70s. That was like a couple years ago.
What? Was that? Was that really?
Yes.
I thought that was like in the 70s when you got famous for that.
I don't think
Potato.
Yeah, okay. 70s, early 2010. It's all the same distance, right?
2020.
It was before COVID. I know that.
Might as well have been decades ago.
I thought it was the 70s because he looked like the 70s. Anyway.
You guys are going to have to pardon me in my coughing. I've been under the weather.
Well, stop it.
You know what? It's enough.
I wish.
It's enough.
You're telling me. And my rib cage.
Oh, God, yeah.
So sore.
Do you ever
from
have
coughing.
hiccups to the point where you're like in
No,
pain?
thank God I'm not.
Where
that
you want to
person.
die?
Yes, you just want to. I just like take me, Lord. I'm done. This is it.
Throw me from the train.
This is it. Is this like? Be like, is this what Peter
That's
and
really
the
good,
apostles went through? No. So I wanted to ask you guys. So Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. What do you eat? What did you eat yesterday? If you are eating yesterday,
Turkey.
Turkey.
You doing? Are you
And then
traditional?
and then
Hell
like
yeah.
a little more turkey.
a little more.
And then when you think you've had enough turkey, you have pie.
It's always room for
And you're
pie.
always like, do you want whipped cream? Of course I want whipped cream on that. There's always whipped cream.
Yes.
That
funniest-
goes in the pie.
The funniest thing growing up was my older brother's obsessed with pumpkin pie. My mom would literally make like 7 pumpkin pies.
Are you serious?
To cover
Yeah,
6
we'd get
people.
like, and
Cover
we'd get,
one person's
okay,
pies.
here's your pie.
yeah, we'd get
And
like
here's your pie.
a slice.
And here's your pie. And then there's an extra pie.
Yeah.
And then he would eat all the pie.
And then there's Travis's 3 pies.
Yeah, he would eat all the pie.
Here's your pie.
That's for you.
Here's
Here's your sign.
Maybe you should put a foot in the pie this year, Trey. We can add that to the
Put
gallery.
that on the feed finder.
Grippers and pie.
Ooh. Grippers the pie. Grippers the pie.
Sorry, I made myself
Which
laugh.
pie has smoked sugar?
Just all
Peach
smooshy.
cobbler.
Smooshy. Yeah, well, there's. I saw
I bet it
someone.
would feel nice.
Yeah, that'd be real between the toesies. Let's get real. Let's get real about it, you bald man.
When people stop being false, start being real.
real.
Start
That's right.
being real.
So, anyways, welcome back to Nostalgialand. I know that was a long tangent to go on before we say hello, but welcome back. Happy Black Friday. Hope you're finding
I like
everything you
how
don't
hard
need.
you
Now
black
you
on
should
there.
bark.
Yeah.
Was it? I don't like the way you said
I like
black.
to-
I don't like how hard you
Should
hit the black on that.
Happy Black. All right, I'm sorry. Happy Black Friday.
Happy African American Friday.
Happy Friday.
Just happy.
Happy Friday. Anyways, yeah. So today, in the spirit of what the hell do I watch during this Thanksgiving time, which we've done Shrek, we did Uncle Buck. Oh, what was our middle? Homeward Bound, which
Yep.
is actual Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah.
I think. This one we're bringing you. Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you're sick of your in-laws,
You gotta
not mine.
First of all, you gotta remove any motive and
Yeah.
establish an alibi.
You have to kill the motive.
Yeah.
Establish an alibi.
Criss-cross.
Criss-cross. Anywho, starring our favorite man, Danny
Go
DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
And I did not realize directed
Yeah.
by Danny
I didn't either
DeVito.
until we started doing this.
When it
episode.
said directed Danny DeVito, I was like, oh, Danny, you started out so strong.
You
dude.
son of a bitch.
Like that's like oh, welcome, first time at plate, Danny DeVito, swing home run, the grand slam, bro. Because this movie is one of those weird, great in between dark comedies that is so unexpected that so unexpected how much you'd enjoy it and
Yeah.
how fun it is.
It
And
is
it's
funny.
So it's Danny DeVito, Billy Crystal,
And Mrs. Fatale.
and Mrs. Fatale. And I mean, in her senior years, because I think she's about ready to kick the bucket of this, and she was a
I
trooper.
saw some interviews with her
Yeah.
outside of the movie, and she looked very frail. She
Yes.
has a big head.
Oh yeah,
She had a
but
huge head.
tiny body.
Oh, yeah.
It's yeah.
She was there, and she was like doing this number, and like it was a straight line.
Hey.
Like her legs were straight lines.
That's like,
That's how I want to look.
paper.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I want to talk
Sorry.
about body goals right
Look at
there.
it.
That's for me. I just want to get into that. You know, oh, he looks frail, but his head's enormous.
Ginormous.
Check it.
Ginormous.
Look at that. It's like an orange on a toothpick.
It's like Sputnik. Round, but pointy in the middle.
Get the paper if you can.
Well, that was a
gonna-
bit harsh, eh?
Cry himself to sleep tonight in his huge pillow.
This huge fella. Oh man! So this movie actually surprised me though, because I swore it was R. Up and down, it was. I thought it had more vulgarity to it, but it didn't. It's just the premise of it. So
there's not a lot of cursing, and it's very weird because you can tell really early on when they're in the classroom for the first time, and he's reading. Billy Crystal is a professor and a writer.
Yeah,
and he's reading stories, or he's having them read their stories.
Teaching creative writing,
and the guy's thing is like, women I'd like to pork.
Yes, but they changed
and
it.
He definitely says his mouth says fuck.
Yeah,
and pork comes out, and I'm like, that was very confusing. Like my brain just like
it's like a different voice. It's like, women I'd like to pork.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I have an aneurysm?
It's like the bad dubbing of the Chinese movies.
I need to call the hospital.
Call my doctor. I have to go check him.
Does anybody smell toast?
Yeah,
buttered toast.
I forgot how it begins. What's the opening shot though?
It's him typing.
Okay,
It's
the night was. And
the
he
night
keeps,
was. So
yeah.
Billy Crystal is sitting in his office and he's trying to come up with the perfect beginning, the perfect 3 words, and it's a great theme throughout the rest of the movie. That he goes, the night was blank, and he's just trying to find out that next 3 words. And it's hilarious to me how Billy Crystal just portrays like the writing process of like dut dut dut, and then it's just scene after scene of him just like kicking
ripping
time
or like ripping the paper out of the typewriter,
throwing it away, smoking, watch TV.
He's pouring tea.
Yeah.
And then in the next scene, he's cleaning the tea off the typewriter and off the table where he spilled the tea everywhere somehow.
He goes back, he gets alcohol, puts it in the tea.
He's dipping the tea bag, and he goes to type and puts the tea bag on the table, and then he's like, shit.
Yeah. Billy Crystal, and honestly, there's so many good movies where Billy Crystal like kind of narrates something, and I was like, dude, I could listen to Billy Crystal and Dan Aykroyd talk all day.
Have you ever read 700 Sundays? It's a book written by Billy Crystal.
No,
Right
really.
It's really good.
Does it start with the night was or
no, not that I remember, but it could. It'd be funny if it did.
I think there's a callback to another movie we watched where they say that the night was something, and I swore up and down that, oh, was that a Throw Momma from the Train reference?
Could be.
I need to go back through our catalog because I swear there's a movie we watched like in the last year
I listened
of doing
to
the show.
Last podcast, and they always do that.
Owen.
Oh, I was practicing this voice. This and for next week's episode, my Michael Caine. Because when Michael Caine gets very loud, it gets very quiet indeed. Quiet indeed.
Anne Ramsey.
But Anne Ramsey. And you got, it's kind of you do Cartman, but then you bring it real low. And you do that. Owen! It's not even, it's like screw the gums. You don't use the teeth.
No.
Oh.
It's like you don't have teeth.
Yeah.
She probably didn't have teeth.
I don't think she did, but
she had a hairy face.
Was amazing in this. Okay, so you're seeing Billy. He turns on the TV, and he's Larry. Sorry, so Billy Crystal's character is
Larry Donner.
Larry Donner.
I thought it was funny.
He turns on the TV.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, it's Oprah interviewing the Star Trek captain. I forget her name, but she was the captain on Star Trek.
Later in her career.
Later on, yes.
This was when she was
Kate Mulgrew, right? Like his ex-wife.
Yes, and so his ex-wife is on the TV talking to Oprah because she wrote Hot Fire. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, but it's like his book apparently.
Yeah, that he ghost wrote it. And
he was going to write it and publish it, but then a divorce, she took it and published it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
it was the story of his life. And she stole it and published it.
Yes.
That'd be like me, like writing a book called You Can't See Me, and it's about going into the WWE. And,
did John Cena steal
John.
your book, Trey? Is that what you're telling us?
Yes.
John Cena took my book. That son of a bitch. Anyways,
But I couldn't see him.
Couldn't find the guy, really.
That he was there.
So she's all hot and heavy or not hot and heavy. Sorry, she is famous and writing the 15 Minutes of Fame because her book is the #1 seller. It's on, and he is livid. And something that Billy Crystal does so incredibly well is just that outrageous anger. Like, I mean, it's
called losing his shit.
Furious
She's a slut.
Yes, I mean, and the way he builds to it, and it's just instantaneous, but it's so believable because you just realize, like, oh yeah, I think this guy's been mad before. Like, he does it really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time it's brought up, he's like, slut. She's a dirty and just barely so she stole his work, and he's now working on his next big thing. But in the meantime, he's working at a college, and that's where we meet Danny DeVito, Owen, who his first scene is so sad, in my opinion. It's such a great way that they introduce it, though. But he's sitting at a typewriter, and you see the way they did the contrast of Billy Crystal, because Billy Crystal is tick, 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 and like just typing, and then Owen is tick,
Yeah, he chicken pecks.
tick, tick, tick. Yes, and you hear Mama suddenly from the other room. Owen! Owen! And she's like, bring me some soda, like ice. And she's like, and he's like, okay, Mama, like in that sweet, like Danny DeVito way, like that. Danny DeVito both
he's very simpleton.
Yes,
in this movie,
he's simple but lovable in the same way. Like you can't
and
stay
terrifying.
mad at him in the same, like, you know. Yes, you're right.
He is terrifying in this movie.
So Danny DeVito gets up and she calls him like, you stupid fat lard, and she's like, you were writing a letter. He's like, you're writing a letter, take me away.
Yeah,
he's like, no, Mama, I wasn't. I was writing it for my class. I'm taking a class. And he's like, she said something along the lines of like, you're too stupid to take a class or something. And you're just like, oh God. Dude, yeah.
Yeah, the whole movie she's accusing him of calling the people to come and take her away.
Yes.
To have her taken away.
Well, she should be, honestly, though.
Yeah, she's terrible to him.
Up there and horrible to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he goes in to grab the soda out of the cupboard, and it's like their walk-in pantry. And as he's grabbing a glass bottle, like an 8-ounce Pepsi.
Pepsi Cola.
Yes.
Yeah.
Says the whole thing on
Back when this was a country, we had glass. That's right.
Exactly. On the next shelf, there's just boxes of lye.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
which is poison.
Big old
I don't know.
box of lye,
That's what
yeah.
they use to like dissolve bodies. Like dead
yeah.
bodies, people use lye to dissolve them.
That's like the hardest.
Breaking Bad, but you got to get a plastic container. It's gonna eat through the poison.
Yeah, that's why it's in like a cardboard box. It's not even like in a.
I remember in my grandpa's shed there was a box of lye and rat poison. I think he would put it around his
Poison travelers and then dissolve their bodies in lye.
I guess so. Yeah. That was a long time ago. That cough getting you. You're gonna sound like Owen's mother.
Yeah, dude, it's been brutal.
Trainer.
Well, she had.
I'm actually a lot better.
The actress had like throat cancer. That's where like the speech impediment comes from.
Yeah. Well, it just adds to. I mean, it's impactful. Like how she speaks and her mannerisms and the way that she does things. Like there were a couple times where I was like, oh wait, we need to put the subtitles on. I have no idea what she said. All I heard was fat ass or fat lard or something.
Yeah.
Like just have her.
Well, and that's a
insulting
voice
Danny.
she's doing for the movie too.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, really?
She has
That's
a very
not
sweet.
her?
No,
No.
she has a very sweet voice.
Man.
In real
And
life,
apparently
or had.
apparently it was like super painful
To do that voice.
because she was like undergoing surgeries to correct throat cancer and like it was
Dude.
hard for her to do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, just to do it now as an impression, it's
That's like I get it.
ripping me.
That's like yeah, I get
I'm
it.
gonna be like this by the end of the show, honey.
You know what it reminds me of? That episode of SpongeBob
What?
where her voice.
The one where they
Oh.
live
The
in a
episode of
pineapple under the
SpongeBob.
sea?
Yeah, but that's every episode.
Oh, okay.
This is one in particular.
Not SpongeBob
That
that,
they're
lives
selling
in Brooklyn.
That they're selling chocolate. They're going door to door and they're selling chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yeah, and the grandma and the girl, and it's kind of like Danny DeVito because that girl's kind of like older, middle aged, and then
Yes.
they bring out the mom who's just like a stick.
Yes, it's just a head in
on
a
a wheelchair. What are they selling?
What?
They said they're selling chocolate. I remember when they invented chocolate. I always hated it.
When it's like, what's so good about your chocolate? He goes, well, you rub it on your skin and it makes you live forever.
Get all of it.
She's like, no. Like the daughter's like, no. She's like, pay the man. Oh, so yeah, those episodes. It's hard to think of SpongeBob as almost coming up on 30 years.
Let's go.
That's
It's
crazy.
25 now.
With
Anyways,
the guy
But
from
yeah.
Coach.
So
Yeah.
they, freaking Dauber.
Yeah.
From Coach. That's
Dauber?
What's his
In
name in Coach?
oh,
Patrick Starr. The guy who
Oh.
voices Patrick Starr
Is
was Dauber
Dauber?
in Coach.
Yeah,
In Coach.
on the show Coach.
I don't know the show Coach.
Oh,
Oh, it's a funny. It was
you
just
didn't watch
sitcom
enough
back in
Naked
the
Night
day.
as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, he was like the main character was a coach for like a Minnesota college football team,
Oh,
and Dauber was like his
Oh my God, who
dumb
was
assistant.
Who was the main guy?
fun fact.
I don't know his name, but I know exactly who we're talking.
I'm,
Like I
I-
can picture him.
Yeah.
Well,
Go,
it
go.
wasn't Kenny Person, whatever his name. Tom
so,
Kenny.
So you got he notices the lie,
Yeah.
and then the next thing you know, he's pouring the soda into a china cup, and he's putting the lie in the soda, and it's fizzing like crazy.
Yeah.
And he goes out and he gives it to her, and she drinks it and starts like, ah, and then you realize that it's all in his head. He was daydreaming about poisoning his mother with lye
Yeah.
and Pepsi Cola.
He's been thinking about it for a while.
And it's like, oh, yeah, this is how it's going to be. And this is a running theme during the movie now. It's these different scenes of him stabbing her through the head with a big pair of scissors. And all kinds of horrible things that he's doing to this woman.
That's the part that I had a hard time remembering how if this movie was graphic, because I told my wife what I needed to watch this week, and she was like, "Oh, well, I've never seen that," and she wanted to watch it. And she's like, "Is this something the kids can watch?" And I said, I'm not 100% sure, because PG. So there's some PG-13 movies we let them do, where like the Harry Potter films.
Yeah,
and we walk through it, we explain it, it was magic and stuff like that. But this was like the scissors through the head weren't like bloody and gushing or anything, but it was like still a very graphic image.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's like one of those old school like scissor, metal, scissor,
like the arrow,
like a headband. Yeah, exactly.
Scissor, hoop, scissor.
There's a lot of
Craig T. Nelson, by the way. That's
Craig T. Nelson. Yeah.
I
There is a lot
of
sexual content in this movie, though.
Sexual.
It's very hot and steamy.
Because he's like trying to hit on the is it architecture? No, anthropology.
Yeah.
Well, she wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're into it.
Yeah,
together.
they're but he is like he is not
dating.
about it because he's still caught up on the slut.
Yeah, but her and Sheldon should hang out because she likes trains a little too much.
Especially children's trains.
Yeah. Well, I didn't catch that the first time I watched it. Then I was like, what's the deal with the trains? Well, I guess we're gonna throw Mama from one later on, so we might as well put that idea in everybody else's head. But
I will say for a movie with the name "Throw Mama from the Train," there was a lot less train than I remembered.
not as big a feature.
Yeah, I remember seeing the movie when I was young, but it was like maybe I saw bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And just thinking, like, we're still not on the train yet? The whole time, like, the movie's good. Like, I thought we were on the train by now.
Where's this?
I guess it was just in my head that we were on the train, like, the whole time. And we were literally trying to throw this woman off of a train.
I think what we were on was a train of thought.
Yeah.
And we eventually got there.
Yeah, we did. There was a good tie-in at the end of this movie. A good full circle
bookend.
joke.
Yes.
They found the perfect words.
But
they opened up, so they established both characters are at their limits. They're both characters are at the edge of their
end of
ability to the end of the rope. Thank you.
With the person that they hate.
Yes, with the people that they hate. And so that's their commonality, but then they go to the writing class, and I had a flashback to when I was before I got into University of Florida, I did a semester at Santa Fe.
Purchase. Oh, I was like, soon.
No, I did a year at SUNY Purchase. Go Panthers! Yeah, Panthers. SUNY Purchase up in New York. But then I did a semester at Santa Fe before I could transfer in. And
it's
I did
community college in Gainesville.
Yeah, it's a fun place. It's actually a really good college now. But I did a creative writing class, and when we got to this scene of introducing Larry's creative writing course, I had so many flashbacks, because especially when the woman gets up and she's reading her story, and she's passionate about it. She's like, "Oh, this is the best piece of literature you're going to hear today," and she's describing like a submarine. Yeah. It's like a battle, and she's like, and then he said, "Take us down," and the man went and pushed the button or thingy, and they went down.
And he yelled into the thing.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? And Billy Crystal's character Larry even says, when you're writing a story about and the whole thing takes place on a submarine, it's a good idea to learn the terms of the submarine.
You might want to know what's actually inside the submarine. The way she ended, where she's like, "We got him." Yeah. And then I looked at him. Yeah.
We got those bastards, didn't we?
Yeah. So that's
so ridiculous.
It was awesome. And then that's where you get Mr. Lampsky's book, which is
Women I Want to Pork.
100 Women I Want to
Pork. But he's during her reading her story.
He's going through the pile of stories.
Owen puts his on the top.
Yeah, takes it right from the bottom up on top. Yeah.
And Billy Crystal or Larry looks down and like, nope. Like picks up the next one.
Poor thing, it's like handwritten, and it's stapled together on dirty old looking paper, and he just looks at it and puts it away.
His name's at the top, Owen, and it looks like a 3-year-old wrote it.
Yes.
Oh dude, that is bad handwriting right there.
So Yeah, so we get Mr. Lamsky's 100 Women I'd Like to Pork, and he's like, number 1. And he starts going
No,
through
chapter 1.
chapter 1.
And he's naming all the women.
Yeah,
But
one
then
of them,
he
like,
says it's a coffee table book.
Yes.
So
And
you're
one
supposed to just leave it out on your coffee table in your house
I just
for
like
people
that
to
one
come
of
and
his
read.
just like that one of his chapters was girl from the taco commercial.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Nailed
And he
it.
said, "Well, I thought I would include some pictures and maybe a nice description and a lovely dust jacket to go along with it." And she's like, "No, this is smut."
No, he's the lady that was reading her story is like, it's wank material.
It's wank material. Yes. Oh man. We don't have phrases like that anymore. We got stupid skibbity and all that. What happened to wank material, people? Again, wank material and glass Pepsi bottles.
There you go.
We were a country.
Proper country.
Proper. So they go from there, and it cuts to I think the next scene. Well,
Him
they're
in
at
the
lunch.
laundromat.
They're at lunch, and they go through that scene where they introduce the girlfriend,
Oh yeah.
and they're all looking and
And the topic of his ex-wife comes up.
yes, and he has a ballistic meltdown. In the
Yeah,
middle
they're
of
in like the cafeteria with and the creating writing classes all sitting together
At the
at a
same
table.
table, like it's high school.
They're all friends. You know how it is.
Yeah,
Sometimes
maybe-
you make friends.
You got to be together, man. We're all in the same boat, you know.
Some of my when I went to community college for like 15 years, some of my
A lot of
classes
people go to college for 7 years.
yeah, they're called doctors. Some of my classes, like the people would really hit it off, and like a bunch of the class would all hang out together. It happened
dude.
It happened at Florida State too in a couple of my creme classes.
Yeah.
Where like right away. They just like click and like so, but these people are all kind of weirdos and outsiders, so they're all sitting together, and he's having a conversation, and during the course of the conversation, his ex-wife comes up,
Yes.
and he again just loses his
like a
mind.
tick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's slut. I'm gonna kill her.
Yes.
She needs to burn in hell. Like
I
all
wish
this
she
stuff.
was dead.
Yeah, I wish she was dead. And they're all just sitting there hearing him scream all of this
Yes.
stuff.
But that perks up Owen's ears because
Yeah.
Owen's paying attention.
Because Owen's
yeah.
like, I wish my mom was dead.
Oh wait.
And not only that, but he really wants Larry to read a story.
Yes, he
He
really
wants him to like
Larry's-
his story.
Yeah.
He wants his feedback and he wants him to like it.
Yeah,
You're
and then it
absolutely right.
cuts to a Billy Crystal doing laundry in a laundromat.
Yeah.
It's pouring down rain outside, and he's walking up to him, and like Billy Crystal turns around. It's like he's Batman. He's standing there, and he's like, "This is your tie."
Yes, because he's holding the tie and they keep it. He's like,
Yeah, because it looks like he's gonna
gonna
strangle
choke
him.
him.
yeah, he's gonna
Yeah.
choke him with it, and he's like, "This is your tie."
It fell.
Oh, I didn't want
It
to.
got
ruin.
wet. I thought it was
Yes.
gonna be ruined.
His cadence ruined. Yes, his cadence and the way he speaks in this movie like is really particular.
It's like he's a simpleton.
Yes,
Oh, he's
well,
Like
it's-
he's slow.
yes, it's a little slow is
Yeah.
what it is.
And so
yeah.
he's trying to.
Like he's not a full retard. He doesn't go. He doesn't go full retard.
that word is coming back.
Dude, have you seen Tropic Thunder? You never go full retard. Sean Penn, I am Sam, full retard.
Oh wait,
Snubbed by the Academy.
no, what is it? He's like, Rain Man, look retarded, act retarded, count all them cards,
Count them
Couldn't be
toothpicks. Not retarded.
Forrest Gump, look retarded, act retarded. You can't be a war hero, be retarded.
Play ping pong like that.
Man, solve world peace.
Those look like
I'm telling you.
magic shoes.
I'm telling you, our society went way one way, and now we're marching our way back towards another Tropic Thunder, another super bad.
Do you know
like,
if they make Tropic Thunder 2? How they're already making Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah, and
So
they
why
they
not?
have specifically said that the writers are not worried about
They're
woke
done with this.
nonsense.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna make a comedy that they like, and I'm
think
like,
too.
oh please, yes,
Yes. Yeah. I
yes,
think too,
make a good one.
you look at this time, you look at the comedies that have come out, it's hard to be like,
Well, that's like Robert Downey Jr. was on Rogan. Rogan was asking him like, could they make Tropic Thunder today? And he's like, you could.
That's the thing. It's like Shane Gillis. You can do it. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
Just go out there and do it. People will love it.
people will go. People
Yes.
will see it. Yeah.
Yes.
And when we can all laugh with
like
each other,
It's like the
we
Field
grow
of Dreams.
closer to each other.
if you make it, they will
They
watch
will
it.
watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just Field of Dreams too. It's just kids choking on hot dogs.
That
ruining,
doctor's like, I'm so tired.
just ruining baseball heaven for everyone on that team.
Moonlight Graham will come and save you. Don't worry.
Don't worry, he's around.
While all of the media makes fun of you and tells you how horrible you are, the people will keep coming and paying to see your movie.
Meanwhile-
they won't know why. They'll just come like in Field of
People will
Dreams.
come, Ray.
Yeah.
People will come.
Meanwhile, Hebrew nationals have the best year of their life.
Like, this is incredible. But
Yeah, so Owen confronts him in the laundromat. And it's pouring rain. He's like, "Did you read my story?"
He's
and
like, yes, Owen,
"Yes."
I didn't like it.
And he's like, "Well, why?" And he's like, "It was a murder mystery. It was 3 pages long.
It wasn't hard to
page-
figure out.
Yeah.
What gave it away? You only had 2 characters, and one of them was dead on page 2, and there was no motive.
I have a question.
One guy in the hat killed the other guy in the hat.
Yes, that's it.
I have a question for you guys. Is there any actor this day and age that is our Billy Crystal? I was thinking about it watching. I can't think of anybody that because he could play leading man, and he's not like a gorgeous man ever in his career, but he's funny. Like, because he pulls off this movie, City Slickers, so many movies where he, like When Harry Met Sally, like it's just you don't see that.
Where he is also a little nerdy, a little dorky, but he is it in a realistic way. Like, he's also very like attractive enough that you're like, yeah, like, all right, I can see this.
And
I
his
can see this
wit,
working.
his witticism is like what really carries him.
What's the name of that guy? He was a writer for SNL.
Jimmy Fallon?
Not Jimmy.
Andy Samberg?
Don't you dare.
Andy Samberg?
Not Andy Samberg. Oh my Lord, I'm gonna look him up. If you want to keep going, I'll find him. I know what to look for.
I didn't mean
John Mulaney?
John Mulaney. Thank you, John Mulaney. John Mulaney.
I don't know why I'm proud of that.
He's got
I
some.
nailed it.
John Mulaney just hasn't done
He also had a coke problem.
a Billy Crystal movie, and yeah, I think no, he didn't. I'm not gonna make that statement.
No, he did.
No. But yeah,
I was
John
like,
Mulaney.
no,
I'm
he
not gonna be
talks
like.
about it.
I'm not gonna be. Billy Crystal had issues with drugs. I'm not gonna go there, but I'll look that up before I
I don't know.
make that statement. But John Mulaney just hasn't done a movie that has that kind of range, the necessity for that kind of range. Like, if you remade Harry Met Sally with John Mulaney and I don't know, maybe Zendaya or something, which actually that might be pretty cute.
Actually, never mind.
What?
You're like, actually, I'm going to edit that out.
No, I would totally do a remake of Harry Met Sally with John Mulaney and Zendaya, or even what's his name, Tom Hiddleston? No, what's his name? Who's dating Zendaya?
Spider-Man?
Tom Holland, yes, Spider-Man.
Hiddleston is Loki.
Is he looks like a child boy man person. Like, I think there's like Billy Crystal looks like, although he is small in stature, he's still like
He always looked like 45
Yes,
or older.
exactly.
You didn't even talk about Billy Crystal's best role. It's
City
Mike
Slickers?
Wazowski.
Oh, it's
Billy Crystal's Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, but he's not on the screen.
Yeah, but you know it's him.
you know it's him. Was it?
Just like, so he's talking about.
Have nothing if I didn't have you. Anyways, so Owen is obsessed with Larry liking his story and wanting to understand why.
Wants to be a good writer.
Why he doesn't like his story, and so he keeps approaching him, and and he goes home and rewrites it.
Yeah, and then the next scene after he goes home to rewrite, and you have another Owen and Mama.
That's where you get the scissors.
Yeah,
Altercation.
the scissors through the head.
Yeah,
plan
She has
there.
something in her ear.
Yeah.
I said in my ear. You get it out for him.
Doesn't she smack him to get his attention?
She
though?
smacks him all the time in this
She
movie.
calls him a fat lard, too.
Yeah.
It's over in my ear.
Owen.
So ridiculous. But then it cuts to
You don't have any friends.
Larry and the anthropologist lady are sitting in
in
the
a
children's
park.
train.
Like in a park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she is basically telling him to bang her right there in the train,
Yeah,
begging him to do that.
Ooh, they were getting down.
He's eating potato chips.
Well, she's saying to him
He's
like all
3
this
cars
stuff,
back.
like about like I just want to ride the train, and he's at first he doesn't get it, and then she was like, I was speaking euphemistically, and he goes, oh, like. She's like, what? And he goes, well, this is the children are gonna play on this tomorrow. Like, that's disgusting. And then it zooms out on the train, and they're still kind of making out and getting kind of hot and heavy.
Owen,
And you just-
with bagged chips.
Dude, he's less than like 7 feet away from them in the third car.
Oh, the best
Just
is like they whip around and see him, and he's like, "Hi,
yeah, because he like
did I come
makes some noise.
Did I come at a bad time?"
He eats the loudest chip he could.
Yeah, it's like 2 things you wouldn't be able to like eat if you were on stream with somebody, and it'd be like potato chips or apples, or like the 2 things you can't eat. Yeah.
just crunching away. And he's like, is this a bad time? And he's like, did you read my story? He's like, yes, Owen.
I hated it.
Did you like it? No, Owen.
Yeah.
And then this is when they have like their heart to heart where they're sitting outside the library. And he's like, well, why didn't you like it? And he's like, because there's no motive, Owen. Yeah, the guy in the hat kills the other guy with the...
Yeah. Well, that's the sweet part about it because like Billy, Larry, and Beth. Is that right? No. What's her name?
I think it's Beth.
Is it Beth, the anthropology teacher?
I think so.
So they go on with the rest of the night. He goes home. He's asleep, and the phone rings, and Owen is like outside his house or something, and he's like, "Why didn't you like it?" And you tell me, and he's like, "Oh, Owen, it's late," and he's like, "Well, like, you want to go? You want to hang out or something like that, or see something?" And Billy gets up and takes them, and they're sitting in front of it. Looked like an abandoned grocery store.
I look like a library.
Oh, it looked like to me. Anyways, so they're sitting out front, and he's just sitting with him and explaining like. In such a great way of like, if you want to write a murder mystery, you have to eliminate motive and establish an alibi.
Yeah.
And just like, it's this really
How do I do that?
heart to heart. Yeah.
I can't tell you how to do that.
Yeah. It's just such a great way to establish their relationship of like teacher pupil, but like it's also kind of mutually it's kind of a friendship in that way.
Yeah, well, he tells him to go watch Hitchcock.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically,
like, you want to go to the movies with me?
yeah, he's telling him to glean from the greats, to get inspiration, to see how to write it. And then Owen goes to a matinee of Hitchcock,
And he's the only one in the theater
Yes.
and
eating popcorn.
just is such a dumbass that in the movie the main characters are talking about how they're going to kill each other's
Wives.
hated people, and they're going to do a crisscross.
Yeah, to eliminate motive.
Yeah, because like I don't have any reason to kill your wife, and you don't have any reason to kill my wife.
Yeah.
So if we kill each other's wives, there'll be no motive, and then we can both have an alibi. Crisscross. And then Owen's sitting there like eating the popcorn, and it's just saying like crisscross, and then he goes crisscross, and it's like he has an epiphany.
Yes.
I just had an apostrophe.
Yeah, and then he calls.
He's like, I get what you've been trying to tell
he's
me.
Like, crisscross.
Crisscross.
You're not going to see me for a couple days.
Yeah.
I'll call you when it's done.
Yeah,
Click.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Whatever. Who cares?
That's it, because I think Billy Crystal, Larry gives him an example. He's like, I hate my wife and I wish she was dead. Now, if I murdered her, who do you think the first person the police are going to come after? It's going to be me, because I have a motive and I have no alibi. So of course that's how it's going to work. And Danny,
he's like, oh, like me and my mom.
yeah, he's like, I got the same thing with my mama. He goes, well, look at that. We got something in common. And that's how I think he gets to I think that's the thought train that he gets to with Owen thinking like, oh, my teacher Larry, he's been trying to tell me that he wants me to kill his
ex-wife.
wife, then he'll kill my mama. And I think that's how they get to that point. But it's just good writing.
Yeah, and she lives in Hawaii, so he takes a plane out to Hawaii and basically stalks his ex-wife.
Yes,
Dude,
all day.
Dude.
Finds
He
where
shows
she
up
lives.
to her house in a cab and tells the guy, I'll be back in a minute.
I'm gonna go see my aunt.
Visit my aunt.
Yeah.
Then goes down there, and the gardener comes in to the woman's house, and she's on the phone with like her agent.
Rob Reiner.
And it swings.
Rob Reiner.
Yeah, but you don't know yet.
Yeah.
No, you've already met him. He's already fired Billy Crystal.
Because he's letting
right
Billy
before
go.
that. Yeah, that's right.
And he gives him like his favorite
fern.
He gives him his favorite plant.
Yeah.
I love Rob Reiner. Dude.
Well, and it's funny too how you find out then that Billy Crystal has not actually written anything other than the one book that his wife stole from him.
Right, so he has nothing else to give him.
And he's been his client for like 8 years,
and he's like,
always working on something, quote unquote.
You go be an artist. I'm gonna hire a writer.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, you're a professor, you're a teacher.
Yeah.
You're not a writer.
Yeah.
And then I'm sorry to tell you, but we've taken your wife on as a client. He's like, what? He goes, she's a best-selling author, Larry. But then
It's my book.
yeah, we're out in Hawaii again, and now, and she's on the phone and
Starts having an affair with
the way the camera is Owen's just in the background, and it's like, oh my god, dude's in her house. Like this guy is just out of he's off his rocker,
and he puts the black
Yes.
he puts the black gloves on.
I had to Google this. I was like, hold on.
Is this an OJ thing?
Yes. I was like,
I think
wait,
it was too
when
early.
was OJ?
Yeah, no,
It's too early.
Way too
Yeah.
early. But
Yeah.
I thought, I was like, I wonder if he got a phone. Because yeah, Owen, there's these big clunky, like he sees her and she's getting dressed, like just got out of the shower.
She's putting on her jewelry.
And he sees her. He's in her living room, and he starts walking towards her, and he goes, "Oh wait!" And he reaches in his pocket, and he pulls out these huge, clunky black leather gloves and puts them on, and then he starts walking towards her, like kind of like
a zombie.
Yeah, like a zombie, ready to choke her. And then
The gardener
comes in,
And he just like
and
dives
dives.
behind the couch.
And they start doing the hanky panky on the couch,
And he's
just
reading Us
laying there.
Weekly?
Yes. He just goes like, "Well, so I'm gonna be here," and he grabs the magazine and starts.
And then he
reading it.
realizes like what's happening, and he's like, and he like walks into her. And
Dude,
he
no,
goes
the
out on
phone
the
starts
balcony
ringing.
and he's making a sandwich.
The phone starts ringing.
Yes, the phone's ringing.
And she's trying to grab it. She's trying to grab the phone, and it's on the edge of the table, and she's not anywhere near it. And then Owen reaches up and pushes the phone with his fingers, like, go, there you go.
There you go, bud.
And then she answers the phone, and it's about her having a book signing or
in Maui.
In Maui, yeah, later that
yeah. And
evening.
she's
or
like, yeah, I'll
something.
be there. I'll be
Yeah.
there. Yes, I'll be there. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the boat.
Yeah.
And then you get that scene
He
next where he
makes a
cuts.
sandwich.
He's like, "Well, I'm gonna be waiting." He's on the balcony, and it's like a full sandwich. Like he
Like he
lettuce,
made noise in the
tomato,
kitchen finding
yeah.
that stuff.
No, and there's no way but it's hilarious that's just what he's doing. He's just waiting for her just to.
And then he sees her leaving in the he sees her leaving in the car, and he's like, "Oh no, I gotta go."
Like, oh, my murder victim just took off.
Yeah,
So they get on this boat.
the ferry to
And-
Maui. Yeah,
He sits next to her and tries to like strike up a conversation with her, and she's like,
what does he say? He's like, "It's my first time in Maui.
"It's my first time to the islands."
to the islands." Yeah,
He's
and
like,
she's just
"You
like,
want some?" And he goes
yeah.
to give her like the pineapple drink or whatever. And he,
Oh no, he goes to light her cigarette.
Yeah, with the candle.
Yes, with another candle. And she's like, "No, I got this." And she decides to go up on the top deck to have a smoke. And he follows her. And
he does the glove thing
again,
again.
he's about to get gloves. And he puts the gloves on. And he's walking towards her. And she realizes that she dropped her earring. And it fell on the outside railing of the boat on the upper
Yeah.
deck. And this is my worst nightmare. I'd be like, "No, that stays right there. I'm not kidding."
We wait
that.
till the boat stops.
Yeah, I'm not doing this in the middle of the ocean in the middle of the night, falling off of a boat in the middle of the night. Because then she leans over the side to try to reach it, and so Owen's hand position goes from trying to strangle her to
Yeah. Like he's gonna push her.
he's gonna push her off the boat, which you never see him do.
Yeah.
You know, it just cuts, and you assume something, but she does. She falls off.
She ends
the
up in the
boat.
water.
She ends up in the water, and the next morning he's calling from a payphone.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is the most ridiculous scene of the whole movie.
He calls from the payphone and he tells Larry, "Hey, it's
Aloha.
Yeah, aloha." What? Oh, and he's hammered drunk at this point because he's been
Larry.
Larry is because
Larry,
he's been
yeah.
let go.
Yeah.
So he went down to the beach and basically just laid on a
Dude, he
rock
wrecked his
Yeah.
car.
with a bottle of vodka and just
Yeah, dude.
just freaking
He's saying how
starfished on
there's-
this rock, and
There's
he's like,
halibut in the water that could write better stories than me.
he's like, the
right.
night was
The night was-
humid,
Yeah.
the night was moist.
Dude, I love that
There's
part.
a halibut who could come up with a better line. I'm here for it.
Anyone just want to jump in? Just jump in. Do it.
When he does the whole, when he's in the early part of the movie, when he's doing the actual typing of the line, the night was, when he says moist and he like, ew. Like, but he's doing the whole rundown.
Yeah.
Of,
See, ladies, even men don't like
the
that
night
word.
the night was damp.
Yeah.
The night was wet. The night was humid. And then the night got cold. That makes fog.
Maybe it was hotter.
The night was foggy.
Maybe it was humid in the morning, and then it cooled off, and that's how you get fog.
Yeah, he's like doing all these different things.
And he's like looking at himself in the mirror, he's talking to himself.
So he got drunk on a beach. out
So
of
he's
that
like
news.
super hungover when
Yeah.
he calls
He
him.
looks like death.
Yeah,
Dude, he
like
does.
his eyes are all bloodshot and they're like black because he hasn't been sleeping.
Classic.
And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Aloha."
Who is this?
Who is this? He's like, "Stay near the phone. I don't want him to trace the call."
It's-
Click.
It's done.
Yeah. click.
Hangs out,
And he
right.
drives to a different payphone, and he's like,
This is like iconic payphones of Maui.
The way they cut this scene together, it's like he calls back 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
And he's on a different payphone.
Completely different beach.
Yeah,
He's
dude,
like-
and like one part there's cows in the background.
Yeah.
And he's on like a farm, and then he's back on the beach somewhere else, and the payphone is shaped like a pineapple.
That's well, my favorite one is the pink seashell one.
Yeah.
And it's just out on the middle of,
Aloha.
the ocean. Aloha. He's like, it's done. Do you want anything from Maui?
Criss-cross.
Criss-cross.
What?
Criss-cross. And
she's
what?
dead.
She's gone. Yeah.
I pushed her over the edge.
What did you do to my wife? And he's like, I'm not gonna say it on the phone, but I killed her.
Yeah.
Like, what the dude, he's so stupid.
And then at one part,
Yes.
and then at one part, he's like, oh, and I'm gonna hang up now. And he's like, oh yeah, the call. You're so smart.
God, you're smart. Don't want him to trace the call. Yeah.
Well, then Billy Crystal starts to have a meltdown because
Yeah.
he's like, he couldn't have killed my wife.
No way.
He couldn't have killed her. He's too stupid to kill her. He wouldn't be able to do it. Then he turns on the TV.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
He goes to borrow his friend's car.
Yeah, he runs down to his friend's house that lives in a different apartment.
Who's in the middle of hanky panky? with-
Yeah, and this is super funny.
Yeah.
Because he
But
runs in there and he's saying,
I was with you."
till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, you were with me. Great. Now get out because I'm trying to be here with Mrs. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Oh, yeah, there's no way I could have been in Maui and made it back in time." And then she's like a flight scheduler
Yeah.
for some airline.
Yes.
She goes, "Actually,
Wait,
You could have
took
caught
it.
the red eye at 3 a.m.
yeah.
You could have got that. Yeah. Gotten there by 5. You could have had all day and then took the 10. You could have been back here by 1 easily or something.
You could have
Like
made it.
Yeah.
You could have made it back by 6, an hour for traffic, 7. Yeah, you could have been back by 7 in the morning."
Easily.
And he's like,
They look down. It's like 7:30. He's like, "Damn it!"
I need to borrow your car. Yeah, the keys are on the table right by the door. Get out." And so he finally leaves, and then he goes to meet Owen because Owen gives him a place to meet him.
Yeah.
No, but he leaves and he goes to Beth's house.
Goes
Yeah.
to Beth and he's freaking out against Beth.
Like he
because-
didn't do it, and he turns around,
yeah.
and then he turns on the radio, and it's like best-selling author is missing and
Margaret
presumed
Donner.
dead, and,
Yeah.
and then he flips the car around.
Just making these big circles in the road.
This was another Studebaker too. I think it's the one the Muppets drive.
Yep.
Because I was pretty sure that thing's got
Matt,
traction, dude.
Talking about the Muppets.
I gotta do it. I just next week's gonna be fun. Anyways, so yeah, he goes to Beth.
Where are the drugs going? Yeah.
Well, he walks into Beth's house and it basically starts just rambling incoherently.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's like,
Just
"You're not
no
returning my
idea what he's
calls."
talking about. And he says, "No, I'm in trouble. It's Margaret." And she's like, "Oh, of course, it's Margaret. What did she do? She pregnant with your baby?
Yeah.
Did she come back? Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
She's
She's back
dead.
in your life?" And then, "No, she's dead."
Yes.
What? She's
Yeah.
dead. And he's like, "Yeah, and they're gonna think that I did it because I have motive. I'm all motive and no alibi."
I'm up to my ass in motive.
Up to my ass and motive. And so she starts explaining it away, and eventually he leaves and just runs out and meets Owen.
Well,
picks him up.
basically, he makes it sound like
He told
Yes.
Owen to do
like
it.
he told Owen.
Well, she
yeah.
even asked. She goes, "Did you pay him to kill your ex-wife?"
and he says, "No, we were speaking metaphorically,
Yes.
and he took it seriously. I don't know." And he leaves.
Yeah.
And then he's driving back to his apartment, and the cops are outside interviewing. So he just keeps driving.
Yeah.
And he goes to Owen, or no, he goes to the spot where Owen wants him to meet. And they're like, he's like, "All
He's
right."
coming off the bus.
And he's like, "Hey, Larry, I got you this." And he has the earring.
Yeah, and he's like, "Get in the car, put that away."
Yes. It's like, look, you murdered my wife. You murdered her.
No, you told me to.
Criss-cross.
It was your idea.
It was your idea. And then he goes, best thing, they're driving there, "Hey, cows." And it's
Yes.
a billboard of the cows.
In the middle of them arguing about him
Yes.
killing his wife and how he needs to turn himself into the cops.
He's like, "I'm taking you to the police right now." He's like, he's like, "No, I didn't." "Yes, I did. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
I'm going to take you to the
Fine.
police. You're going to tell him everything that happened. You're going to tell him I had nothing to do with it. He's like, "I'm not going to tell him that.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm gonna
tell him
tell-
you did it."
You have motive.
Yeah, you have all the motive. You have no alibi.
He goes, "Wait, you're right. I'm a terrible person. Oh, something's wrong with me, Larry. I don't know."
Hey,
It keeps
cows.
going. Hey, cows. Keeps going. But then I think it comes to the point where, well, we'll get to the end, though, with why I think he was so, like, adamantly like, "No, I didn't." Yes, I did. And because when you know the end of the movie, it's anyways. So they eventually say that they need to keep running. And he said, well, now you're going to kill my mama, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Criss-cross.
Criss-cross. That's what I love is that he keeps, it's not my mom, it's mama. Because she's a being, a character, and she is mama. And she's like, you're going to kill her, right? And so they're talking. And they're in the middle of the night, and he's like, oh, you should do it now. Or do they have breakfast first? I can't remember.
Well, no. So it cuts from them in the car. Well, they have the whole scene in the car
where he's like, "I'm going to drive us off a cliff and I'm going to kill us both."
He's like, if you're not going to turn yourself in, then I'll kill us both. And he gasses. He just floors the car.
Yeah.
And Owen
goes
starts
down the
freaking
hill.
out.
I don't like to go fast.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll tell him. And then he's trying to hit the brakes, and there's no brakes. There's this whole crazy scene, and he's like, "You're a good driver, Larry," and like all this weird. He's like obviously he's not right.
It goes down a hill, and the branches are hitting. He's like, it's like being at a car wash.
Yeah, he says this is like the
Flintstones
car wash.
Flintstones car wash. That's it.
But then it cuts, and they're at
they hit a tree.
Owen's house.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
And he's cooking eggs, and he's talking to him about Mama. And,
okay,
and
that's
the
what
plan.
was my question. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you hear Owen. He's like, "Oh no, Mama's up."
We woke her up,
and she comes in, and she says, "Who the hell is this?" He's like, "That's my friend, Mama." And she's like,
No.
"You don't." No,
that's
he's
my
like,
cousin Patty.
That's cousin Patty. You don't have a cousin Patty. And he goes, "You lied to me," and hits him in the head with the frying
knocks him
pan.
with the skillet.
Like knocks his ass out.
Oh, it's the best line too. He just he looks at this is cousin Patty. He's gonna be staying with us for a while. Isn't that nice? You don't have a cousin Patty. He goes, "You lied to me."
Wham!
Whacks him. Sorry, I had to repeat that again because, dude, that is just one of the funniest scenes. I watched it over and over again.
Well,
because he's like, just meet her first. Maybe she'll be someone you like to kill.
He's trying to he's trying to sweet talk him into it. Like,
yeah, just to convince
and then he's
him,
like,
yeah.
all you have to do is kill her, and then you never have to see me again.
It's like, and you don't have to stab her or nothing. She's got a bad heart.
She's got a bad ticker.
You just gotta
grab her. It's nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Mrs. Isn't it nice? Like, good morning, and like just kind of get in her face, and she'll take out.
Yeah, and so then he keeps leaving to go bowling. Like he gives, because that's going to be his alibi that he was bowling. So he keeps giving him like, here, look, like just take this pillow while she's sleeping and just put it over her face, and then that's it. And I'll come home from bowling and that'll be it.
Yeah.
And so he goes to do it, and he's like, your son killed my ex-wife, and now he's trying to kill you.
He makes him go out the window.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to make it look like a burglary.
You got to rough stuff up.
Yeah. And on the way there, a bunch of rats come out and he goes, rats.
Yeah.
This is the way that Billy Crystal does. And he comes back and he opens up and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm not doing it. I can't. But he gives him all these other reasons. They're like, oh, you should do this. You do this way. Oh, here, I got this other idea. And they go and they take the pins out of the hinges.
They take the hinges out of the
the pin out to the basement door. He's like, every night she hangs up her shawl on this door, and she'll put it up there, and she'll fall through it, and she'll go down the basement stairs, and that's how she'll die. And so the whole they're testing it, and they get to it, and he's like, yeah, that'll work. And so Billy Crystal then has second thoughts, and he's like, no. She's like, let me hang up your shawl.
Yeah,
for
but
you.
the best part before that is he leaves to go bowling.
Yeah,
and she's like, I need my medicine and I need food, and he's like, I could get it for you.
Yeah,
she's like, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm Owen's friend. Owen doesn't have any friends. That's because he's shy. No, it's because he's fat and he's stupid.
That's it. No, he's fat and he's stupid. God, that hurts, dude. No, but she goes, he's like, I want to hang up. No, but I want to do it. He's like, I want to hang up your shawl for you. And he's like, I can hang up my damn shawl.
He's trying to kill me.
Yes.
He gave me the unsalted nuts, and those make me choke.
Those make me choke. God, the way she says choke. But she goes to put it up, the door doesn't fall.
Yeah.
And so then, like, Billy Crystal, of course, is like, what? And he's like, that should have happened. And then he goes down the stairs.
and hits the water heater.
Flies down those stairs and blows through the friggin' railing and crushes this water
the
heater.
Side of the heater. I don't know what like stunt double or like dummy they use for them, but it's really convincing.
Yeah.
The way
and
that
lands
goes
like
down.
perfectly with a sleeping bag, like right by his face.
And he is out.
So Owen comes home and he sees
that he hasn't left the door because he puts like a pin in the front door.
Yeah,
and he's like
a little piece of thread or something.
He's like, oh no.
Yeah,
walks in, and he's like, Mama. He's like, your friend's dead.
yeah.
No, he thought he left.
Oh yeah.
That was
I thought she was. Yeah,
that was the thread. He thought he left.
Oh, I thought it was that he was dead.
Remember, he went to go leave.
Yes.
And then changed his mind, and right when he changed his mind, he goes to turn back, and the thread falls off his thing and lands on the ground.
Right.
So he thinks that he left, and then that's when Mama tells him, "Your friend's dead."
Friend dead.
And then he's like, "Larry? Oh gosh, Larry!" And they just leave him down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they leave him at the bottom of the
He
stairs.
doesn't even go check on him.
But then she falls asleep. This is my favorite scene of it because she has this great joke. So Mama's sitting in her chair, she's asleep, and Owen goes and he gets a case and he's like putting something in. The camera's like behind the case, so you're not seeing exactly what he's doing. But he's like, "That's it," and he goes, opens the case, and you hear him putting something together. Like it sounds weird, and then he walks over to Mama, and it's really intense kind of camera work because you think he's gonna shoot her in the head.
He has a gun.
Like he's just gonna blow her away. Instead, he pulls out a trumpet and just as loud as he possibly can blows this trumpet in her ear, and she has this weird like kind of like reaction.
And it wakes
to
up Billy Crystal's character.
and that wakes up Billy Crystal. But then Billy Crystal comes up and he's like, "Larry, you're alive." And he's like, "Oh my God, you did it."
Old people, you have to reassure them.
He's like, "You killed him. You killed her." And she's sitting there and you think she's dead, like she had the heart attack and this is going to be the rest of the movie. And then she wakes up and she goes, "Holy shit. I just had the weirdest dream. Armstrong was trying to kill Louis Armstrong.
Tried to kill
And he just,
kill me.
you see him put the trumpet like behind his back. Like, oh.
We didn't say when Billy Crystal goes in and tries to cover, like he's gonna smother her with the pillow.
Yeah.
When he walks in, her eyes are wide open.
Yeah, she sleeps
and
with her
he's
eyes open.
talking to her because she thinks that she's awake. He's like, "No, Larry really loves you. He's got a lot going on." And like all this whole diatribe about the stuff, and then he realizes she's sleeping the whole time.
Yeah.
That's so creepy looking.
That holy shit.
So creepy.
I had the craziest dream.
Louis Armstrong tried to kill me.
Oh, dude. So
Well, then the cops show up.
the cops are after them, and they're
This
consistently
was before the
following the
door
alibi.
incident.
Yeah,
This is
way
when he was
before
supposed
that,
to strangle her.
Yeah. He goes bowling and he comes back and he thinks, "Oh, Larry's gone." And the cops are like, "Can we come inside? Can we
he's
talk
like-
to you?" Yeah.
You want to meet my mama?
Well, she's old. Well, no, she's probably fine. This will be for me. And so they come up, and Billy is hiding in. Larry
In the
is hiding
pantry.
in the pantry, and Owen keeps asking the cop to go get him something from the
Because he sees him.
Yeah.
He sees him in the pantry.
Yeah, he
This is
goes
a
and
weird moment in the movie where he's like, is he trying to sell him out or is he
Yeah.
not? Because he tells him like, "Oh, can you grab the tea out of the pantry for
This
me?"
box is empty.
And then right as he gets to the pantry door and goes to start to open it, he says, "Oh wait, I've got tea right here."
Yeah.
Well, I'm an idiot.
Like, give me
sorry
some
about
sugar
that.
though.
Yeah, and then after a
And
few
then the
seconds,
cop's like, is it in the pantry?
yeah.
It's like,
He's
sure
like,
thing.
"Yeah," and then
Doesn't he say hi to Larry as he goes in? Like
Yeah.
he's reaching in the pantry for the tea. And
He goes, "Hey."
So I don't understand. Hey, Larry.
But then, right as he's about to really get caught, and he's not. It doesn't look like he's gonna pull him out this time and say like, "Oh no, I have sugar over here."
Yeah.
Mama shows up,
Yes.
and she's like, "What the hell are you doing in my house?"
You're here to take me away.
Exactly, and she thinks that Larry has called not Larry. Owen has called the men to come take her away, like she's been talking about the whole damn movie.
The best at one part is she yells for him during it, which is how he figures out that Larry didn't do it. She's like, "Owen," and he's like, Mama. You're alive." And both the cops look at him, and he's like, "Old people, you got to reassure them."
Reassure him.
You gotta remind me.
But then Billy Crystal is finally like, "Screw this, I'm going to Mexico."
Yeah, he's like, "You were
Yeah.
gonna sell me out.
I'm
Like,
on the next train to Mexico.
cops think I did it. I'm out of here."
You see Billy Crystal's on the train to Mexico, and he's like looking out the window, and he looks back, and it cuts to Owen and Mama, and
And
Mama's
she's
eating
sitting there
pistachios.
eating the nuts.
Yes, eating the salted nuts that she wants. The unsalted
She's like,
makes her
hot.
This is my favorite part of the whole movie because they have this whole conversation about how you need to
perfect
find
words.
the perfect words to open a story.
Yes.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Yeah.
And he runs through all these famous novels, opening lines. And then he says, the night was hot. The night was moist.
Yeah.
The night was humid. I can't. It's been years. I've tried. And Mama just goes, "The night was sultry." and he's like, that's it.
It just shuts down.
Yeah, like,
yes.
I'm going to kill Mama. Like, now he really wants to
and
murder this
She's
woman.
like, it's too sultry in here. I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's a murder on the freaking train because she
Yes.
knows he's a murderer at this point.
Well,
'cause
she thinks.
She's no. She heard the if you have any information of this
Yeah,
guy's
she
where-
thinks
yeah,
that
yeah.
he's a murderer
And
because
so-
everybody else thinks he did.
Yeah.
It's so funny. He gets up and
He's gonna leave. And
well, at this point, Owen's like, okay, he's not gonna kill her. Like, it's fine.
And he gets up and Owen's
he goes,
like, "Where are you going?"
I'm gonna kill the bitch. Do you want anything? And he's like, give me a chunky.
It's like, you got it. It keeps going. But it's
And
like,
she keeps walking
Yeah.
through the train, and she's like, "Stupid bingo! There's a murder on this train!" And like knocking on everybody's door, like people are coming out
he's
half
trying
dressed.
to kill
like-
me. Yeah.
And they get to the back of the train, and there's just an opening. And he's like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna kill her." And at this point, Owen's had a change of heart, and he's like, "No, don't do it."
Yeah. And she's like halfway out the train though. Like she's like,
No, she trips.
Yes.
She goes to hit him with the cane.
Yeah.
And she trips and almost falls out, and he grabs her.
He's
And
got her like by the ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, don't do it." And he's like, "I'm trying to save her, you moron."
Well, and they end up getting her back on the train.
she's
And just they're all exhausted from the fight. And right as they get her back on the train and they get up, what happens? Like something bumps and
And she hits him with the cane, and he falls out of the back.
and he flies off the back of the train.
Bye,
and Owen's
Larry.
like, "Bye, Larry." Like he's such a simpleton.
bye, Larry.
Well, even before that, like when he decides he's gonna leave on the train, it's because after the Louis Armstrong thing, she wakes up and kicks him in the balls.
Yes,
and he's like, "She's not a woman, she's the Terminator."
Yeah.
She goes, "Get away from me, you horse's ass."
She calls him black at one point. He's like,
Oh my God, what? I don't remember that scene. You can't write these anymore. Anyways,
And then, it cuts to him in the hospital.
yeah.
with the old man.
And there's the old man laying in the other bed.
Yeah.
And he's just ranting and raving because lo and behold, there on the news is his ex-wife,
Alive.
Margaret.
Alive.
And
And
she's
she's like-
talking about how she was on the boat and she was leaning over the railing to get her earring, just like we saw. And then she fell over the side into the water.
Next thing I know, I'm in the water.
Yeah, she didn't get pushed. Owen never did anything.
Never happened.
And then a fisherman came and saved her life. And
She's
I'm saying
marry
and she's
the
going to marry this
Mr.
fisherman.
Hashioka or whatever his name was.
the Adonis of the sea.
Yeah.
Doesn't it say that? Yeah.
Something like that.
But that was earlier. I was like, okay, I think Owen doesn't tell Larry, I didn't push her. She fell.
Yeah.
Because he was like, well, it's Criss-cross. I didn't hold up my part of the deal. She just accidentally fell off and now she's dead. And so if I tell Larry that, hey, she died by accident, he's not
won't
gonna
kill my
he
mama.
won't kill my mama.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, why he backtracked so quickly.
You know what? One moment we did forget to talk about that's very critical to this movie
Ooh.
is when they're in the kitchen and Owen is trying to like bond with Larry, and he says, "You want to see my coin collection?"
Oh, the coin collection.
And he's like, "No, I don't want to see your coin collection."
This is after he got hit by the frying pan.
Yeah. He's like,
So
no. He's like, "No, I don't want to see your coin collection." He's like, oh, okay, and like gets
Dandy
super depressed.
collection, yes.
it's like a child. Like,
Yes.
But that's what it is. He's a simpleton.
I've never
He's-
showed it
he's
to anyone before.
Stupid, like, and he's stupid in the most innocent way possible.
Right.
And
yeah.
then finally, Billy Crystal's
Well,
like,
he
"All
goes
right."
over and he pulls
I
the
wanna see it.
floorboard up,
Yeah.
and pulls the box out from the floor, brings his coin collection over, and he's like, "Fine, well, I'm just gonna go through it." And so he starts pulling out his coins, and then
It's like,
Billy
this is-
Crystal comes over and lays down on the floor too, and he's like, "All right, show it to
He's like,
me."
no, you don't want to see it. He's like, no,
No,
show it
to
to me. He's like, all right, here's a nickel.
Yeah, here's
Here's
a
another
quarter
And here's a quarter.
A
here's
dime.
a dime.
and a penny.
Yes.
And he's like, "Are they valuable?"
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, normally when people have a collection, it's because the coins are valuable." And he's like, "Well, see, this is from when we went to this show or this game,
Yeah.
and my papa told me to go buy a hot dog and let me keep the change.
Yeah.
And this is when he told me to go buy a soda and he let me keep the change. See, I always kept the change. And basically, it's his connection to his papa, who really cared about him and loved him, and the mama was the evil one. And he says, like, my dad's name was Ned, I think.
Yeah.
It's something close to Ned. If it's not Ned, it's something similar.
Yeah.
He says, and he wanted to name me Ned Jr. I was his Ned Jr. That's why mama named me Owen. Like, what?
Dude.
Yeah, then you realize, like, oh, so she's been terrible forever. Like, not just when she got old and crotchety. She's always been crotchety.
Not before she would join the Fratelli gang and was
That's right,
chasing
exactly.
miners across the Pacific
With the
Northwest.
Italians.
With the Italians, yeah. Was George chasing them through caves and octopuses.
And then to cut back to the scene at the end when you find out that the wife's not dead, and she's talking about how she's going to marry Mr. Okinawa. What's his name?
Or Hashioka or something.
Yeah,
I thought
something like that.
Hashimoto, I thought it was.
Something like that.
That's thyroiditis.
And Hashimoto's disease. And so then she says, "Oh yeah, and I sold the movie rights for $1.5 million." And he goes, "I got thrown off a train." And she gets $1.5 million. And then
You gotta love this lady.
the old dude's like, "You know what? I'm out of here." And he's like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
He goes, "I don't know." He's like, "You're leaving?" He goes, "Yeah. You just will not shut up, Margaret this and Margaret that. It's always Margaret. Get over yourself."
No, he's like, if you're gonna have all this hate, I can't be in here with you.
Yeah, he's like, if you can't get it together, I'm gonna find a new room because this is ridiculous. And he leaves. And he kind of has an epiphany at that moment, like, oh wait, what about Owen or Larry and Owen and Mama and Owen and Owen's friend Larry?
Yeah.
And he goes and immediately starts writing on a pad right there, and it starts, the writing down their whole story and everything that happened.
Because doesn't he have a dream about it though too? And he wakes up and he's like, "Oh no!" Like about
He has
some kind of epiphany dream about his relationship and his desire to kill Margaret or something.
And Owen,
yes, that's it. Yeah.
and everything that happened, and then. So he's writing and writing and writing, and then it cuts to he's back in his apartment and he's typing away, and things are going good, and his apartment's clean now, and everything's going well. And I think he's back with Beth even.
Yeah. Oh, he's all put together.
Yeah. Everything. His life's falling into place.
Yeah.
And then he gets a phone call, and it's Owen, and Owen is in town, and he's been gone, and. So he comes over. He invites him to his house.
No, he's at the payphone in front of his house.
That's right. He is.
He's
why don't you come? Yeah. Why don't you come on up, Owen?
It's like, why don't you?
Oh, he's like, aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah.
He does it again.
Yes.
So he invites him up, and he telling him that he's been on vacation. He went on vacation, and and
he was in New York.
What about Mama? She's gone.
She's dead.
He's like, did you kill her? And he's like, nope, natural causes. Natural causes.
He tells him he wrote a book.
You want to see my book?
I wrote a book.
You wrote a book? Yeah,
It's getting published on Tuesday.
It's coming out on Tuesday. Got a publisher and everything.
Yes. And so he tells him, he's like, wait. So he tells him the premise that Billy Crystal. So Larry's been working on the premise about Owen and Mama.
He's half a paragraph away from finishing.
Yeah, and he's half a paragraph, and it's all about their adventures together. And Owen says, "Yeah, my book is about you, me, and Mama, and our adventures together." And he goes, "You wrote a book about you, me, and your Mama."
Well, that's when the name comes. That's when the name comes. Where he's like, "Yeah, it's about Owen and Mama and Owen's friend Larry."
Yes.
That's the name of the book that he wrote.
Doesn't he call Owen? Doesn't he goes, "You slut"?
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna kill you.
He starts choking him, and he's like,
Knocks
I
him
want
over
to
the
give you my
couch.
book.
Give me this. Yeah.
Dude, he's choking him, and Owen says, "You're choking me," and he's like, "I know, I'm killing you."
Killing you, moron.
I want to
then he's
give
like,
you my book.
I wanted to give you that book. I'm like, what are you talking about?
What is this? What is this?
And it's a pop-up book for
It's
kids.
like you wrote a children's
He's like, yeah,
book.
except in my book, there's no killing.
He's
Yeah.
like,
We go on a picnic.
you wrote about everything we did? He's like, yeah, we accept that. We instead of trying to throw her off the train, we went on a picnic.
Yeah.
And it's got like
this cute little pop-up book. Yeah.
And he's always in like a full suit.
flips the pages, and there's the kiddie train with Billy Crystal and Beth in the front, and him
Yes.
sitting in the back with the bag of chips. Like, what the hell?
The weirdest little drawing of him too. And he does a great impression of the mama who pops out. He's like, bah.
So funny.
In the way that Billy Crystal sometimes makes noises and they make me laugh. I don't know. Him going, hello, like from City Slickers. Cracks me up every time.
I'm talking a pull it, I'm talking nothing, not a drop.
Cow's name
Cow's
is Norman.
name is Norman. I'm gonna
get a wash up.
But that's
John
John
Lovitz.
Lovitz.
Yes, John Lovitz. So yeah, so they both have success with their books, and they're
And then instead of all that murder, we all go on vacation.
Yes, yeah.
Dude, and it's like the drawing of him and Beth on the beach with Owen in the background, and it cuts.
And it cuts to that.
And it's the exact scene of
Yes.
them on the
Except
beach.
instead of Mama, it's Beth.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So they're sitting on a beach and they're talking, and Beth is reading the book, reading the final thing, and she's like, "Love and hate, and somewhere in the middle we find
hate makes you impotent.
yes,
Oh,
love
how
makes you
does it
crazy."
Love makes you whole. Hate makes you impotent. Somewhere in the middle.
Ooh, it's a good last line.
Hate makes you impotent. Love makes you crazy. Somewhere in the middle, you can survive.
Yeah,
And Larry's like, I like the whole book. Or Owen's like, I like the whole book, except the last line.
yeah.
What the hell is that?
I don't know, what does
he's
it
like,
mean?
he kind of agrees. Like Beth immediately kind of like, I don't know. He's got a point. And he's like, hate makes
It's kind of ambiguous.
yeah.
Kind of
and they come. And
He's
again,
got half a brain, and you're agreeing with him.
yes, he's like, you got it. He's like, you're agreeing with the man who had a book signing at Toys R Us. What are you talking about? And he's just doing the perfect Billy Crystal rant, just as he's
what
going
is he
into the
saying?
ocean.
Hey, Owen, go out a little farther.
No, but like when he's walking by with the flippers on, and he's going, and he says to Beth, like, "Hey, have you ever seen an idiot scuba dive or snorkel or something?"
I thought he said a gremlin or a goblin.
Something like that. Yeah.
You ever seen a
Snorkel.
goblin snorkel?
Yeah, something like
think it
that.
was that,
Super
yes.
funny.
Oh man, yeah. So they go swimming in the ocean. It ends on Billy Crystal just ranting
Yeah.
about
I
them
can't
not
believe
liking
you're
the
taking
end.
his side.
Yes.
I write this entire book, and now you tell me it's not the
Now
perfect
you
ending.
tell me it's not good. So yeah. Oh,
He
you gotta
Billy
love
Crystal
this
is
man.
so like the Martin Short without all the slapstick.
You're right. Yeah, he is very much Martin Short, that quick wit.
Yes.
You know who reminds me of him
That
when he
Bing
does
Bang Boom.
comedies? Is
Yeah.
Michael Keaton. Like
Yeah,
when he's
kinda.
in the other guys and he's doing the TLC line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like
Michael Keaton.
when he's talking, whenever
Don't
he
go
talks
chasing
to
waterfalls.
whenever he talks to Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell, he always drops in like a title of
Yes.
the TLC song. He's like, "Hey, I don't want no scrubs," and they're like, "You're doing it on purpose." He's like, "I have no idea what you're
No,
talking
I
about."
don't know what you're talking about. Dude, what an idea for a final mashup of Steve Martin, Martin Short, Michael Keaton, and Billy Crystal. To
Throw Will Ferrell in there.
I think your
throw,
head would explode.
throw Will and maybe Danny, a little bit of Danny somewhere in there. Man. Oh wow, what a
His
perfect
birthday
movie
just
ended.
passed.
Yeah, I did. I did
It was like
see
2
that,
days
yeah.
ago or something like that.
Dude, we gotta say we love you, Danny.
Happy
I will
birthday.
be tagging you on everything.
I was gonna say if you see the show, Danny, what's up?
we love you.
We're big fans.
Big fans. I don't know if the full size, life size cutout is any clue to that, but we do love you. Also, we do love some Sunny D.
And I get to
vodka
have some
seltzers.
this week.
And Trey gets to have. He's been good. He's been good. He's been making money with his feetsies. So we finally bought him his own, so he can join. No, it's just
Goddamn grippers.
it's just because he doesn't have surgery tomorrow. So Sunny D vodka seltzers, always delicious. And Tyler, you want to walk us out on this one?
Thank you guys so much for joining us as always. We really appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, follow, ring that notification bell on YouTube's. Check us out on the Tiki Talkies, Instagram, Facebook, everything, you know. Any platform that you get streaming podcasts, you can follow us. But Spotify, check us out, especially Spotify.
Spotify, yeah.
They've been very, very, very good to us, so we would like to be very, very good to them. Check us out on nostalgialandpodcast.com and
Etsy.
Etsy is
Nostalgialand Shop.
Nostalgialand
Nostalgialand
Shop.
Shop.
Son of a biatch. I almost had it. But check us out. Check out the products. Check out the merch. We cannot thank you guys enough. Those of you who listen every week, those of you who listen regularly, comment, jump in there. Give us what you want to hear. We do read the comments. We do try to follow up.
We do.
We do read.
We read.
Sometimes.
I've seen books.
Yeah,
He's
and
always
if you
wearing
let us know now for series, we can plan them for the future.
Yes.
We're totally down to do whatever.
Yeah.
Just
Or
movies
like
are a lot of
trilogies
fun.
of movies. Like if you
Yes.
want us to do like like the
Series.
Harry Potter or something.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. I've thought of doing
I can do a Harry Potter right now.
like a Mystery Science Theater.
We're gonna say like a Madison Square Garden. I'm like, we're gonna watch the Knicks play.
Maybe that'd be hilarious. Yeah, they're gonna judge the Knicks as they play.
That guy sucks.
Especially as
a fat white guy.
But I've thought of us doing like a Mystery Science Theater like live commentary on Chamber of Secrets. Is that movie?
It is probably the worst of
that
Harry
movie
Potters.
when you watch it.
You don't speak those blasphemous words.
As an
I
adult,
said of the Harry Potters.
it's problematic. It's problematic though. When you watch it as an adult, you're
No,
like,
it's not.
who's in charge here? Or we're gonna let the murder snake just go on.
That's Chamber of Secrets.
That's not like a day one thing. It was like, oh, a kid's dead and there's a murder snake
Chamber of
loose.
Secrets is open. Then close your legs.
Should we send the kids home? No, let the snake see. Let's let it play out.
As soon as one of the kids actually dies, then they go home.
Yeah, then they
Yeah,
go.
that kid gets to go home in a
We're
box.
not calling people. We're not phoning, sending owls out. Hell no. Someone needs to die.
The Wizarding World is a different world.
It is a different world. You're
Exactly.
right.
It's
Absolutely
a different world.
Yeah. Not everybody gets a trophy for participation.
Well, until next time.
This time, a Quidditch cup.
That's right.
Anywho, yes.
Thank you so much again. And I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. And as we march in our way into the Christmas season, what a wonderful time of year. Ooh. Everyone's full of joy and love.
I know.
'Tis a season to be jolly and joyous.
Okay. Until next time,
I'm Matt.
I'm Trey.
and I'm Tyler. Cowabunga.